Mr. Streety, you say you got spooked when you found out that your ex-girlfriend, Miss Johnson, cheated with a man she worked with at a haunted house. You have dragged the defendant into court today to prove that you are not her 13-month-old son, Zeandre's father, so you can remove your name from the birth certificate. Additionally, you are also suing for $108, the cost to get your name removed. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Johnson, you say you never forced Mr. Streety to sign Zeandre's birth certificate, and you are furious. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Streety, why did you sign Zeandre's birth certificate if you had doubt?
Your Honor, I was foolish at the time. In the beginning, it was the way I felt about her. When we first met, she was already pregnant. I mean, we were trying to make things happen. We were trying to be a family, you know what I'm saying? She told me her situation. Kids' fathers weren't really there. I'm a good man. I felt like that was a role I was gonna have to take on if I wanted to be with her. And
so wait, let me be clear. So you took on the role of father for a child you knew wasn't yours. When you met her, she was pregnant.
Yeah, plus their older siblings too.
And the older siblings.
It's not like you didn't know.
But you signed the birth certificate of the first child.
This last one. And his brother, the two youngest.
But you knew that. That's what you agreed to do.
Yeah, but I did that to show you that
Wait, I want to
there.
be clear. You signed the birth certificate for a child you knew wasn't yours.
Yes, Your Honor. I know how foolish that
And now Zeandre, you question if he's yours, and you signed his birth certificate too.
Yes, ma'am.
So how many children do you have between the two of you?
One.
You just have one.
Allegedly.
The other one you're on the birth certificate, but you're not the biological father, but you have two other children besides that.
I have 3 other children besides that.
Now tell me about this relationship before you got pregnant with Zeandre.
We met back up after years of not seeing each other, and then he left and went to Denver. And when he came back that December, he proposed to me. And I would say he was still involved with someone else because he was receiving phone calls, and he was like very suspicious about it, and I didn't pay attention to him.
Your Honor, I moved to Denver. She knew that I was moving out there, so that way me and her
That was the game plan after he got out
okay,
there.
so you told her, I'm gonna go to Denver first
Yeah.
and get things set up, and then you gonna come as well.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
But you did move to Denver.
Yeah.
He moved to Denver
And this
without
was
my
before
knowledge.
Zeandre was born.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I was pregnant with Zayden at the time.
So now the first thing we really need to understand is, why do you doubt? Zeandre's yours.
No, I approached Your Honor.
Insecurity.
I'll tell you.
This is what the exhibit is about?
Yes, ma'am.
Please approach.
Thank you. We have a timeline here. Moved in together in or around April. This is her parents' house. This is one of their properties, okay? All of her bills, automatically my responsibilities.
No, they
All right?
weren't.
Hold
He
your
got
thoughts.
his name.
Hold your thoughts. Thank you. Here we go. We're moving through here. Amidst of all of that going on, I'm getting tired of being accused of things that I'm not doing. So I move out. Not even a few weeks later, see her at the gas station around the street from my brother's house. Who was that you were riding with? Hold that thought. Couple weeks later, I'm at my uncle's house.
Wait a minute, saw with other man. That's
Yeah.
the red car? And what did you see when you saw that?
I saw them at the gas station at a pump. She's just chilling in the truck. As a matter of fact, this person that she's with, if this was such a good man, he's sitting in the truck, she's pumping the gas. A couple weeks later, I'm playing soccer with my 2 younger cousins in my uncle's front yard. Guess who come bending around the corner? Her and the same nut that I saw earlier at the gas station. This time he's driving. Whoa, okay, if he's driving.
And that's the car below, driving with other man. That's the same other man.
Same person.
Same
yeah.
guy.
This is around the time where I discovered that she's pregnant. Okay, you got to understand, I'm gonna feel some type of way.
Now, Mr. Streety, hold your thought. Ms. Johnson, do you remember those instances?
I do.
Of course
Do you remember the man you were driving with?
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
were with another man.
I was, but all that took place in October. I didn't meet the guy until October.
No. She tells me that, Your Honor, and as far as she's concerned, she's gonna tell me that.
And
all
so,
right?
Mr.
As far as I'm concerned,
Streety, I just want to make sure. Now, how do you know it's August? You just remember that was the date?
No, that's when I saw him. As far as I'm concerned, after this time passed by, she told me that she was with somebody else. She had met her at a haunted house that she and he had worked at together. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, this is the same person that I saw earlier. You can't prove to me that it's not.
All right. And then in October, that's when it is revealed to you that she cheated.
Yeah, that she had been cheated in October. Okay, so if you had been doing that in October, and you not just telling me you only slept together 2 or 3 times.
You got found out she cheated with a haunted house. She was in the haunted house cheating?
No, she was in the house that we were living in with them kids. That's where she was at.
Oh.
The same bed that I was lying in.
Oh, she was working with the guy at the haunted house.
Not even there.
Oh, so that makes it okay.
No, it doesn't make it okay.
Man,
You remove
whatever,
your name
man.
from the water bill doesn't make it okay either.
Yeah, dude, for my credit.
Really?
Oh, so I gotta leave my name in the water
No,
so y'all can
why
take
did you
showers
agree?
together.
Why did you agree to get the water turned on in your name?
Okay, that's cool.
What sense did that make if you didn't plan on paying
Wait a minute,
any
Mr.
bills?
Streety, you took your name off the water bill because you didn't want her taking a
Yes, I
shower with
did.
this new man?
Oh, yeah.
No. He decided that he was gonna take his name off the water bill and go freelance to do whatever it is he wanted to do.
Meanwhile, I help her.
Wait. What's freelance mean?
May I go back?
Are you done with your
Yes,
exhibit,
ma'am.
sir? Yes, please step back to the podium.
He made beats or he would help record songs with other people without a fee.
Oh, I thought you meant he was freelancing with other women.
I mean, his ex, of course. Like, he would leave my house just to see his ex and their child. And they would spend time together. They
Your
had
Honor.
pictures all on
Your Honor.
Facebook, him lying in the bed when the baby was born. It's like, wow, you didn't tell me any of this. I didn't know none of this. You didn't owe me an explanation for anything.
Listen, and as bad as that is, that didn't land us here in paternity court.
No, it didn't.
From what the
security
exhibit
did.
says, the haunted house did. Ms. Johnson, I want to hear what your side of the story is.
Okay. First of all, the calendar's not even right. We moved in together in March, and he moved out in June. He stopped by just to check on me or whatever, but it wasn't that much. So I'll say in July, that's when I got pregnant. And this right here, all this happened in October.
So you saying he got the dates all mixed up?
He does.
And you're saying that when he saw you with the other man driving around, you were already pregnant?
Yes, I was. I was already pregnant.
Were you sleeping with the other man?
I met this guy in October at the haunted house. I would say 2 weeks after being there, of getting the haunted house set up and getting ready to bring customers in, because it was like from the 15th to the 31st. So I'll say,
You met him in October, but y'all were already hanging out 2 months before.
no, we weren't. See,
So that's somebody different.
That's where you're
somebody
delusional.
different. So that was somebody different, yes or no?
That's where you're delusional.
Yes or no?
I wasn't even with anybody. I was at home with my kids, making sure they ate, making sure they bathed, and they were clothed.
Who you driving my uncle's house with? Who was
That was
in
the
the car?
guy in October. That's the same guy.
Lies.
No, they're not.
Lies.
So, Ms. Johnson, so you say you were already pregnant, but you say you saw her with the other man before you realized she's pregnant. Take me to the point when she tells you she's pregnant.
I went over there to just go check on her. We just laying there, and she's like, yo, as a matter of fact, I asked her, have you been with somebody else? She's always been honest. She said yes. I said, well, have y'all been sleeping together? Yeah. Oh, so it just only happened one time? No, it's been 2 or 3 times. I'm like, where'd y'all sleep together?
October.
Where'd y'all sleep together at? Right here is where?
Nowhere
the
to be
same
found.
bed that me and
That
her
was
been laying in.
after October.
Are you kidding me?
And when I told him I cheated, that's when he decided he wanted to come back around and play dad or play house or whatever. Because he was always in and out the house.
Who do your children look at as dad?
Of course you.
So
And you
how am I
know
playing
that.
dad?
Listen, I see the tears in your eyes, and I see you very upset.
I am.
What is this about for you?
It's the fact that he's been in my daughter's life since she was 1. And she's 5 now. And knowing that he knows that they don't know their fathers. Their fathers don't come around or call or check on them. And then for him to step up to that position and then all of a sudden slowly weed his way out, that just drives me
Don't
to
sit up.
just feel as though
Don't sit up there.
Let her talk. Let her talk.
I wasted my time, my energy, anything that we put forth to build our family and make our lives better within ourselves and for our children.
Now, Mr. Streety, what were you trying to add?
All right, look, straight up, I was in the military, all right? I take responsibility serious. I would think she would think the same thing considering her father and her sisters were
Not
too.
the way you act,
Chill.
not the way you
Chill.
display yourself.
It don't matter about how I display myself. You don't
It
sit
does
up, you don't
too.
sit up there and tell me.
How you gonna say
You
it
don't
doesn't
sit up
matter?
there and tell me that I'm wrong because I
Wait.
want to separate myself from a situation that I put myself in where you made me feel uncomfortable about it.
At what point do you get so uncomfortable that you backpedal out of there and that you decide that this baby, Zeandre, is not yours?
Because when you sit there and you put your responsibilities on me, after I take them on, yeah, but you don't never put your responsibilities on another person and make them feel bad when they're not doing as much as you should be doing in the first place.
Why do you then doubt the child? It's not about responsibility. It has to be based in you feel like she was sleeping with this guy. That's what you feel like?
Your Honor, the reason why she said she did it was because I wasn't there for her.
Right, but you feel like she slept with this guy before Zeandre was conceived.
If you felt like that at that one point, all the times that I feel like that you might have felt like that before, you might have been doing that before too. You don't say stuff like that to a person, and when they get insecure about what you said, you get mad at them because they insecure.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Why did you sign Zeandre's birth certificate?
Your Honor, I was already there for the other three. I ain't taking nothing from Miss Johnson, but I already know what she dealing with. I know that their fathers was not there for them. I already know that. I'm sitting there in the hospital holding him.
So wait a minute. This is what I want to understand. How do we go from this picture of you in the hospital to Zeandre is now 13 months old, and you're saying you don't believe he's your biological child?
The reason why I have my doubts is y'all see a picture of him. Look at me and her. We both dark. That baby yellow. The person that I seen her with was yellow, all right? So
Listen,
that makes me have my doubts.
You do understand that children come in all shapes and sizes.
Totally.
You know that it is about your genes. You can make a child. It could be a throwback from another generation. You can have a child that is a different shade of brown than you, and it doesn't mean it's yours.
Okay, I understand that Zeandre looks more like Shantae than he does me. I understand that boy looks just like her. I have my doubts by the way he looked for my own reasons.
All right, so listen.
But did that stop me from signing his birth certificate and being there for him and spending time with him? No, it didn't. I still did that.
And you signed that birth certificate willingly?
Yeah.
Ms. Johnson, you admit you slept with this other person.
I did.
Did you tell this other person you were pregnant to?
I told him, yes, Your Honor.
Now, has he met Zeandre?
He has not, Your Honor. After October was over, that was it. We slept, during our work relationship, those 2 or 3 times, and that was it.
So after that, he went ghost, back to the haunted house.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We're gonna get to the paternity results in just a moment, but I wanna rule on Mr. Streety's suit. Mr. Streety, you're suing for $108, which would be the cost to take your name off the birth certificate should Zeandre be determined to not be your biological child. The issue is this. I asked you point blank in court, did you do this voluntarily, willingly? And you answered to the court, yes. Without any evidence that Ms. Johnson tried to defraud you, did anything to coerce you, put forth any circumstances that would mislead you to sign this birth certificate, I cannot award you $108 because you did this on your own volition. So because of that reason, I have to deny your suit, all right? But I want you to understand this. Even though today we may determine you are not the biological father, you understand that you still are the legal father. Yeah. And so you would still be required to support him financially via child support, and you still have a legal right to see him, as well as the other child.
And he knows that.
Now, you do have a right to petition the court in your home state to have your name removed. With that said, it's time for the results. Jerome?
Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Streety versus Johnson, when it comes to 13-month-old Zeandre Streety, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Streety, you are the father.
I told you.
How do you feel now, Mr. Streety, now that you know for certain?
That just shows right there that she did have somewhat of some kind of respect for me. You know what I'm saying? She never been unsure. I always been unsure.
I believe you doubt it. You know, some men come in here, I feel like they ain't got doubt, they just don't want the responsibility.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you something. This is a consequence of a relationship where there's no trust. And what I want to say to you all is, if you're going to do better for the children, you all have to find a way to establish a foundation of trust. She knew you were insecure, but one thing you testified to, Mr. Streety, was you said, she don't lie. You asked her questions, did she sleep with someone? Yes. Where'd you do it? Here. I mean, she'd tell you the truth. So you've got to take that as a foundation that now you all need to communicate. You've got a beautiful baby boy, figure out where you want to be and how you want to proceed together. And she made a good point. You've taken on this family. You stepped up to the plate. Now, you can't step up to the plate, get the bat, tell the pitcher to throw, and then decide, oh, you know, baseball ain't my game. You can't do that because there's children here that are counting on you and they look to you to be their father, all right? Ms. Lewis, you say you're here to demand the defendant finally take responsibility because though he denies it, he is indeed the biological father of both your children.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Pippen, you argue there's no way you're the father of her kids and claim you have undeniable proof on your side.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Furthermore, you and your girlfriend, Ms. Sanders, say today's DNA results will clear your name once and for all.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Pippen, why are you so confident you're not the biological father of Ms. Lewis's children?
Because she's a liar, she's a cheater, and I have proof
Your
that I'm not
Honor.
the father.
No, I was with this man since I was young. I had his back through everything. When she kicked him out, he came crying to me. When he had nowhere to go at, when you had nowhere to go at, you came home to me. And you would have knocked both of them, and you asked me to have them. Not once, but twice.
Your Honor, that right there, I did ask her to have my child, but...
I was with you.
Okay,
You
I
was
can see that this is a very passionate situation, and I understand why there are children at stake. But for the sake of this proceeding, let's talk about your doubts as they relate to Quayshawn first.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please, tell me how you met.
I met him, his mother was a bus driver at my school. One day he came home from the group home and he was riding the bus with her. I was about 15, 16. Okay, fast forward, 2009. Me and Mr. Pippen got closer. He was dating Miss Sanders, but she doesn't know this. That's when she had a little red truck. He came to my house. I was home by myself. We had sex the very first time in 2009.
Your Honor.
Okay, fast forward to 2010. Again, I had moved into another apartment. He moved in with me because he had nowhere to go because them two were on the outs again. So he moves in, me and Mr. Pippen had sex again. This time was a repeated thing. This is when he asked me to have his first child. He had went and told her, because he was taking my hair out, because I had him braids in too. He had told me taking my hair out. I was sitting between his legs, mad as a feather, because me and him was sitting there left in the back because we had just had sex the night before. And he would kiss her.
Okay, so let's pause for translation. You and him were on and off again.
Yes, Your Honor.
Throughout that time, he was also supposed to be with Miss Sanders in a committed, serious relationship, and you all were close.
Yes,
so
Your Honor.
close that you would let him take your braids out.
Yes, Your Honor.
Got it. Now, Mr. Pippen.
Yes, ma'am.
So you admit you were in a sexual relationship with Ms. Lewis,
Yes, ma'am.
not using protection.
Right.
So why do you have doubts about Quayshawn if you admit you were in a sexual relationship with her during the time of conception?
Because the time around when she got pregnant, I wasn't down here I wasn't in Greenville at the time when she got pregnant.
Oh,
I
so
was
you're
saying-
saying it's a timing issue.
Yes, ma'am. I was staying in Tarboro at the time with Miss Sanders.
I have the proof from y'all if you want to see it.
I would like to see the proof. Jerome, please pass that to me.
And it said I got pregnant on conception was on May 25th when I was with Mr. Pippen because he kept blowing my phone up and popping up at my house. So I can't be with somebody and he kept popping up, crawling over top of my daggone balcony, knocking on my back door.
Miss Lewis, this evidence you've presented is to show that your child Quayshawn was conceived May 25th, around that area.
Yes, ma'am.
It is your contention, Mr. Pippen, Miss Sanders, that Mr. Pippen wasn't even around?
He wasn't because he was living with me in Tarboro. And so in order for him to go to work, I had to take him to work.
Just because you said you going to me, he won't come home to me.
When we were going back and forth, he hadn't been to Greenville because of his work schedule and my work schedule. So
How far is
Only about 10 to 15 minutes because Mr. Pippen don't got ways to
from
get there.
Tarboro to Greenville.
Oh, you're acting like it was 3 hours. So he's 30 minutes away from her?
Right.
Yes.
But he had no
And my
way
mother's
to
my
get
witness. She
there.
saw him coming out the front door when she was coming to bring me the car. And she saw him that same day coming down the steps. He said, I'll be back tonight. And he came back that night.
Were you dating anybody else?
No, Your Honor.
Nobody.
I trust Mr. Pippen. He kept telling me we're going to be together. We're going to build a family because he told me, I wanted you to have my kids. I'm coming home to you and only you. Because he had gave me a ring. And he said, I'm coming home to only you. And I want us to build this family. This is when he asked me, what do you want to do? Because I never thought I could have kids because it took me so long to have my son. So when they come back into the little room, they were like, Miss Lewis, Streety, pregnant. I burst into tears. I'm 21 years old. I have not had to figure out what I'm going to do with my life yet. And here I am about to have a child. He comes to Greenville, where we live at, and he was like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, you asked me to have this child. I'm against abortion. So I said, I want him to lay down and have him. I'm going to be a woman to take care of it. He said, well, if that's your choice, I got your back. I want to be there for you. This is when he asked me to marry him for the first time. Because it was 4 different times he asked me to marry him.
She says you're the only guy she was with sexually. You were the person going back and forth between 2 women. Why is it you doubt that you are her child's biological
Because I seen
father?
her with her ex-boyfriend.
Your Honor, when he told me,
Okay, now we're getting
And then
somewhere.
I tried to call her phone. She didn't want to answer her phone.
Your Honor,
so
when
I
he
went
said-
to the house. When she got, by the time I got there, she was back to the house. So I asked her about it.
Your Honor, the night he claimed me he saw my boyfriend was in December of 2011. I wasn't even pregnant yet. It was still on the ground.
So now Quayshawn is 2 years old.
Yes, Your Honor.
2. And all this nonsense is going on. 2 years old. What are you feeling, Miss Lewis?
He don't even like you because you walked on him when he was still so he said, Dad. And you walked out the front door and slammed like you never heard him call you. That boy looked just like your dumb tail.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, I have proof that this child looks nothing like.
Look at my baby. He didn't ask to be here. You asked me to have him. And now he said you want to take care of him.
Please explain, Ms. Sanders, what
Look,
this
that's
evidence
the
is.
lie.
On the right
Look,
side
that's
is
the
my
lie.
child that I have with Mr. Pippen. On the left side is her child.
They look just alike.
So Quayshawn is on the
Look, that's
left,
the lie.
and your
They
child
favor.
you've had with Mr. Pippen is on the right.
Yeah, both of them are the
And
same
it is
age.
your contention that
They're a
there is
week
no
apart.
resemblance.
None.
That your
Look
child.
at her nose and look at his nose. They got the same little pointed nose. That
And he
child
got
on the
my nose, so what?
They talking about something, I don't do anything for this child. I went and had a DNA test done. And I had a proof right here saying that the child wasn't mine.
You do. All right. Jerome, please hand me that evidence. Mr. Pippen, what exactly is this?
That's the proof
Evidence
of the
of-
DNA test. The results was that I was not
Your
the
Honor.
father.
Your Honor, you know why he's not the father? Mr. Pippen and him that day kept going forth to the bathroom, chewing on stuff, whispering to Miss Sanders about different things.
Yes, Your Honor,
And
I was
asking her,
witness.
she kept saying, well, did you do it? Did you do it?
But Your Honor, but
So why
I
you
did
going
not.
back and forth to the bathroom?
Your
chewing
Honor,
on
how
stuff?
can you
Hold on.
tamper
So
with
what's
a
this?
DNA
Oh, you need
test?
to provide side of clothes
Let's
from
get some order.
mouthwash.
So you claim he took a DNA test
Yes, Your Honor.
and manipulated
Yes, Your Honor.
the results to compromise
Yes,
them.
Your Honor.
How do you think he did that?
Anything, because I don't take much off your DNA, especially Mr. Pippen, because he don't like taking care of his children as is. All 4 of them.
What do you know about this situation?
I mean, you just too much going on at that point in time.
What do you think he did? It has been determined by this court, Mr. Pippen. We have yet another child whose paternity is in question. Why is it you doubt that you are her child's biological father?
I tried to call her phone. She didn't want to answer her phone.
Look at my baby. He didn't ask to be here. You asked me to have him.
Let me hear from your mother. Please stand, ma'am. State your name for the court.
Agatha Slade.
Ms. Slade, you are Ms. Lewis's mother, am I
Yes,
correct?
correctly.
What do you know about this situation?
Your Honor, I was there when the DNA test was performed, and he was going back and forth to the bathroom, like he had something in his mouth. They was sitting back and whispering. I was like, this is a DNA test. Why are you sitting here whispering at each other? Why are you smiling? Why are you doing all this walking around back and forth, back and forth? I mean, it's just too much going on at that point in time.
What do you think he did?
I'm saying like I know what to do to throw anything off. You can do mouthwash, you do anything.
How do you know this?
Because Your Honor, I'm a certified nurse assistant. I've been one for 18 years.
So you believe that there was some funny business
Yes,
going
ma'am, totally.
on?
Hard, yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your testimony. You may be seated.
Your Honor, how did I supposed to start for DNA test and I'm sitting there the whole time with my daughter in my lap?
No, you
my
won't. No,
daughter.
you won't. You'll go
And
sit
then
back to
after
the
that-
bathroom.
And then after that, I only went to the bathroom one time. That was used, and I came right back out, and I did not have nothing in my mouth.
All right, well, I'll tell you this. I think it's time for the results of the DNA test as it relates to Quayshawn. And we will get to the second DNA results in just a moment.
Come on, baby.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Lewis Kornegay v. Pippen, when it comes to 2-year-old Quayshawn Pippen, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Pippen, you are not.
I
his
told you
father.
then. I told you.
Okay, I mean, no difference. You ain't been doing that
Same
no way.
thing.
So he ain't lost a game, nothing. He still got a father who's got
Why
his
is you
back.
making a big point of it?
Ms. Lewis, calm down. Calm down. Because this is a mess. And yet, you two continue to have a sexual relationship because we have yet another child whose paternity is in question. And that's 1-year-old Quaytavian.
Yes, Your Honor.
What are the circumstances surrounding this particular paternity issue? Or let's just cut to the chase. Who else could be the father?
Nobody, Your Honor.
Were you sleeping with anybody else at the time?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so please give me the circumstances surrounding this particular pregnancy and why you are so certain that it is Mr. Pippen's child.
Because around the time I got pregnant, I was only sleeping with him.
Mr. Pippen, tell me why you have doubts as it relates to the second child.
Because I have really serious doubts because after the second child was born, I seen on Facebook the baby name. It have the guy she talked to now have his last name. And
He does. He does.
and right here-
Studies, he's been there.
and on the pictures right here, that this baby do not look like me, it look more like him.
Jerome, please hand me that picture. So what you're saying is, Mr. Pippen, the child don't look anything like you in your opinion, but he looks like her current boyfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's Mr. Kornegay.
Yes, Your Honor. And if that were the case, she would have gave the child my last name like she did the first.
For what?
If it
Mr.
were
Kornegay,
mine.
please step up to the podium. I want to hear from you. So the child has your last name.
The reason why he got my last name because I've been to a doctor's appointments with her. When she hurt, she cried. I was there with her. When he was born, I cut the neighbor cord. I signed birth certificate, he needed a father. Ever since then, he had my last name. I bought the boy clothes, shoes, Pampers. Then he got right down when I first fed him. I was there with the boy. That's why people think we favorable. I've been with her ever since then. When I lost my son, September the 1st, she was with me. I lost my son when he passed away. And it took me a while to get a bond with her 2 children. Now, they call me dad, and I accept it, because I lost my son. A week later, we had a girl. Our daughter is 2 months old. So we do got a daughter together now, blood. But I lost my dad when I was 18. This is a long time ago. Now I'm trying to show him the right way my dad taught me. I'm his father right now. So when I get back, I'm gonna sign a birth certificate. He's all mine. He will get taken care of. That's why I ain't worrying about nothing.
All right. So, Mr. Pippen, Were you intimate with Ms. Lewis during the window of conception without
Your Honor.
protection?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were. So you all were back in a sexual relationship again while you were still with Ms. Sanders.
Yes, Your Honor.
When you informed him you were pregnant,
Yes,
what was his response?
He asked me to name him after him. So if he feel like he's not yours, why you ask me to give him your last name? You give him your full name, not just last, but a full name.
And so is this true? You asked her to give
And then you
the
asked me
child
when I
your
was pregnant
name.
with Quayshawn to have a second child by you.
Did you believe the child was your biological child?
At first I did,
So no,
until everything else started happening, and then the child came back really mine with Miss Sanders.
Your Honor.
That daughter's really mine. So I guess she just feel bad about it because she just...
Oh, the fact that you did not have a paternity issue with Miss Sanders and that child is in fact your biological child.
Yes, Your Honor.
You feel like she's still trying to just say you're her child's father as well to get between you and Miss Sanders.
Yes, Your
I don't
Honor.
know for what, I don't want you back. I'm good right where I'm at.
Because I've been going
Jerome,
through
it's time for results. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Lewis, Kornegay versus Pippen, when it comes to 1-year-old Quatavion Kornegay, and as to whether Mr. Pippen or Mr. Kornegay is his biological father, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Kornegay, you are not his
Thank you.
father. It has also been determined by this court, Mr. Pippen, you are his father.
Thank
Told you,
you.
I told you.
Then I step up and do what I got to do. That's what I wanted to know the whole time.
Ms. Rainey, you are here today requesting 2 paternity tests and suing the man you say is the father of your children. You admit that you slept with one other man during the time of conception, but you argue that was only because Mr. Matthews refused to accept his responsibilities.
Yes.
To that end, you are also suing Mr. Matthews for $4,663.50, his half of the expenses for the children in question, Salih and Renaya.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Matthews, in your statement, you claim you have every reason to doubt you are the father of Ms. Rainey's children. You say she is known to be promiscuous and even named her son after another man.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say you are confident the children are not yours, and that will be proven when today's DNA results are revealed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Rainey, why did you name your son after another man?
He told me to.
Yeah.
He told you to.
And the reason is, okay, the situation is, when I found out I was pregnant, I told him and the other person that
That you
it was
was living
between both of them.
No.
Because you weren't sleeping with anybody else during the time of
I
conception.
slept with him and Rondell.
Right.
Mr. Matthews, what do you have to say?
I have to say that it's not possible that it can only be between me and one other person. She is known to have family trees in her. When I say this, I mean it's like...
Mr. Matthews, were you having sex with her all the way up until the birth of the child?
No, just a few times.
We
while
had
she was
sex
with her.
June 23rd,
Just a few
the day I
times.
went in labor. When my child was born, we sent him a picture on the phone of my child. His words was, "That ain't my son.
Why is you texting
He
me?
don't look like
What
me."
is you texting me
Name
for? You
him-
need to be
You
sending a
might as
picture
well
to your
name
baby
him
daddy.
Salih
You don't
and
need
be
to be-
with Salih. So guess
Right.
what I did? I named him Salih.
Right. No, you tried to get me an ultimatum.
So
like,
what you're saying
if you don't marry me, then I'm gonna marry him. I'm like, well, you
I
need to
didn't
be
I
hurry up and
asked
marry
you
him
several
because I'm
times
not
to marry
going
me,
to.
but you always chose not to because
And
you was
not
worried
gonna
about
happen.
what other people say.
No, I was worried
So
about
wait,
how
I
was
want to
gonna-
get this. Let's get some
Girl,
order. I want to get this down because
Stop.
Ms. Rainey, you
Stop.
explaining a
For
lot
real.
of
For
things.
real.
It wasn't
You're
gonna
saying
never
that you all
happen.
were together.
Beat it.
Of course.
Yes,
wanted to.
I dealt with him for 8.5 years. Yes,
Right.
I did. I was in love with this man. Yes, I
and
was.
so he basically was not going to do what you needed him to do and to step up and do. So when he said name him after the other guy, you called his bluff and said, and I will.
It wasn't a bluff.
So guess what? Why not?
She tried to say like, oh, it was before you, and it was like before then, and this was still while you was gone, and I was messing with this other person. Yeah, I might have did, but we used the condom, and all type of stuff like that. Like she really.
So I did have sex with him, and I told you that it was way before your time.
So you admit, Ms. Rainey, that there was another guy, but you're saying not in the time frame.
Only between them two.
In terms of the time frame of conception.
Correct.
So, Mr. Matthews, you're admitting that you continually sleep with her and have at least a sexual relationship with her.
Sex is sex. It ain't nothing important like. Ain't no.
Well, it's
ain't nothing
important
deep.
when it produces people.
Who gonna have sex with somebody for 8.5 years and don't have no feelings? Period. Point blank. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Me?
Let's be real.
I would.
Let's be real. You ain't finna deal with me for 8.5 years off and on and don't have no type of feelings. Stop
13 years old and I don't got no feelings for
Please stop fronting.
So what would make you think I got something?
I need you all both to talk one at a time. I can't understand your level of doubt, Mr. Matthews. Why you have such a negative opinion of Ms. Rainey, a person. And she's making this point, and I have to agree, that you have had a relationship with some type of relationship for over 8 years. I mean, we're not talking about 8 months, 8 weeks, 8 years.
That's nothing, though. It's females that I've been having sex with since I was 13 years old. And they don't mean nothing. She don't stand a chance. Like.
But you done live with me off and on
in
my apartment.
Right. That's your baby daddy was paying for.
My baby daddy didn't pay for nothing. Right. Anything I ever had, I paid for. Lanisha worked hard for what I paid for. Yeah, look at my face.
This is my face,
so
and I'm
don't
serious.
do that.
All right,
don't do that. For real,
let's address the court.
Stop.
Ms. Rainey, so you had your own place?
Always had my own place
and you made your own money?
Own money.
You were
surviving, getting it, whether it was working on a pole, working at a restaurant, working in a restaurant, group home, anything. I got it.
Right.
And you had half of it, so what you complaining for?
I wasn't complaining. I wasn't complaining about it. When I was
Mr. Matthews, what do you say to that? She's
saying
that...
she'll give me her money now.
I was taking care of him.
She'll give me her money.
That's my point. So you're criticizing her, and yet you openly admit you were living off of her and letting her take care of you.
Listen, I don't care if she was at the store panhandling for money all day. If she came back and gave it to me, I'ma take it.
That's because he's nothing. He's nowhere. That's because he's nowhere. He's a loser.
Well, I got to drop a little knowledge on you, Mr. Matthews. If these kids are yours today, you're going to be paying for it.
Oh, he already going to be paying for one because he signed a birth certificate, so I ain't worried about it.
Right.
All right, so did you, in fact, sign the birth certificate?
For the girl, for Renaya, not for Salih.
Do you believe, in fact, she's yours?
Like I said, she done had family trees and there ain't no telling.
So cute. How can you treat her mother and talk about her mother and address her mother this way when you have signed this child's birth certificate and have pretty much owned up and said, I am her father? How do you disrespect her mother on this level and think that it's okay?
Because he don't respect
You get respect where respect due.
Because he don't respect himself.
You know, because she don't respect herself.
Anytime you can take the time out your day talking about somebody who you got a child by,
she talking about
you
working on a pole.
yourself.
Like, she be proud of it. Like, you proud that you had sex with the whole family. Oh, yeah, I did.
How many people? You done had sex with how many people?
I'm a dude.
So
it
what?
Don't matter.
Because you a dude, it makes you any different from me?
Yeah.
Ms. Rainey, I need to understand from you. You stand here, you're very strong, you're opinionated, I can do this, I got my own life, I'm equal, I can sleep with who I want, I can do who I want, and yet your actions in staying with a man that treats you this way for over 8 years, that don't add up to me. That's not what a strong woman does, and I want to understand that. What is it?
I had a rough life. When you don't have nobody and that's all you have is somebody that's really nothing to lean on, when you can lean on them, that's what you got to do. Like I said, yes, I did love him. I wanted to marry him. I still love him, but I don't want to be with him because he can't respect me as not only the child, his kid's mother, but as his Muslim sister, as a friend, as a woman, period. I done dealt with him off and on, and it's my fault
because I allowed him to do the things that he did. As long as I allow him to keep playing me the way he keep playing me, he gonna keep playing me that way. But at a point in time, I'm done. I'm tired and I'm fed up, period.
When you say I had a rough life, explain to me what you're saying, because it sounds like in between the lines I hear you saying, I don't want my children to go through what I went through. I don't want them to feel alone.
Yes. I had my rough life, in and out foster care, being homeless, 14 years old on my own, period. I'm 26 now. I got to live with my cousin because I don't have no help. And if I need help, $1, I can't even get $2 from him to get on the bus to take his kids to the doctor. Enough is enough. I'm tired of taking care of these kids on my own.
As a mother, you're understanding that the love and support of a father is valuable.
Yes, because my daddy wasn't there. And where I'm staying at now, my daddy is around the corner. Do my daddy come around the corner to see me? No, he don't. He right around the corner. You come around the corner to see them kids? No.
You live right around the corner from your father.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now.
And you say he never comes around to see how you are.
Mm-mm.
And then you also live right around the corner from Mr. Matthews.
Yes.
And he doesn't come around to see the children, even the one whose birth certificate he signed. So you feel like this cycle is repeating itself.
Yeah, but it's not gonna repeat. It's gonna get broken.
And I can tell it hurts.
It do. It do. It hurt a lot. It do. It hurt a lot when you love somebody and then they don't be there for you and all they do is just down you. That do hurt. It hurt a lot because I went through a lot in my life. You ain't have to deal with me all them years, and that's how I feel. Period.
So you feel like you have loved him unconditionally?
I loved him and never got love back. All I ever got was being mistreated, talked about to his other females, baby mamas, or whatever he want to call them. Period. No, he ain't nothing.
So today's DNA results are going to see whether he's responsible for these children. You are suing him for half of the child care expenses in the amount of $4,663.50. Now, have you brought the court any evidence of monies you've spent thus far? Mm-hmm. Jerome, can you hand me the folder, please? So tell me, has he helped you at all?
Well, he bought a pack of diapers and a can of milk. My daughter is 11 months.
Mr. Matthews, is that true?
Yep.
Are these your only possible children, Mr. Matthews?
No, I got 6 kids.
You have six children, besides these 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you take care of those children?
No.
I do what I can. I talk to them, I tell them stuff, I teach them, like, how to not be like me, how not to, you know, like, for real. Like, and that's just real. Like, but I can't literally come out my pocket and give them something I don't have.
But Mr. Matthews, let me be clear. 6 kids, maybe 8, you need to be figuring out how to make some money.
Maybe 7.
Because you gotta take care of these kids.
Right.
Financially as well. Now, Ms. Rainey, I've got receipts here for
Diapers.
Formula. Money that you've spent on the children.
Correct.
Since their birth.
Yes.
Half of that amount comes to $4,663.50.
Stop it.
Yes. And that's in the
For
2
real,
years.
stop it.
Because my son is 2 years
Stop
old.
playing.
So for
all the way till now.
2 children.
Correct.
You mean to tell me in 2 years, it added up to $4,000-something?
The receipt don't lie. She's not buying clothes.
I'm not saying that them receipts.
And these are receipts
Her kids don't never
from
got clothes
baby-related
They
expenses.
do have clothes
They don't
on.
never
Well, why
got
you
clean
can't do,
clothes
okay, if my
on.
kids
What
for
I'm
this and that and I'm
saying,
for this
she's not
out,
at the
why
mall.
you
They
can't
don't
step
never
up
got
to them and do what you supposed to do?
Mr. Matthews, what I'm telling
Boy.
you is that these aren't receipts where she's just out at the mall wilding out and shopping and buying things she doesn't need. These are receipts for diapers and formula and food and and things that your children need.
Not
They're
including body
necessities.
She's not
wash,
buying.
not including lotion, not including diaper
You don't
wipes,
have-
not including none of that. That is just
Stop.
diapers, food.
Stop.
I see that.
formula.
I have enough. I need to get to the results because your responsibility and her suit is conditioned on whether or not you are, in fact, the father. Right. So, Jerome, if you could please hand me the envelope. I'm ready for the results.
You go yarn?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These results, as prepared by DNA Diagnostics, reads as follows. In the case of Rainey versus Matthews, when it comes to Renaya Matthews, Mr. Matthews, you are indeed her father. All right, let's go to the next one, Jerome. And this is the child where you feel like you have the most doubt.
Right.
In the case of Rainey versus Matthews, as it pertains to Sally Sanders, named after another man per your insistence. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. And this is the child where you feel like you have the most doubt.
Right.
In the case of Rainey versus Matthews, as it pertains to Sally Sanders, named after another man per your insistence. Mr. Matthews, you are his father. All right, so the results are in now. Mr. Matthews, it was hard to sit here and witness a man disrespect a woman that's the mother of his children in this way.
That's overrated, though.
I have to tell you, I don't care what she's maybe done in the past. The fact remains is that she's the mother of your children. You got to do better on that level.
That's overrated,
for your
though.
children's sake. If not, you're gonna raise a son that treats women the same way you do. And that's not cool. And Ms. Rainey, as you allow them to see you be disrespected by him in this way, you are teaching them that that level of disrespect is okay. And it's not.
It's not.
I can see the look in your eyes. And if somebody treated your children the way he treated you, I wouldn't want to see you on that day.
Oh, no, because ain't nobody going to ever treat my kids the way you treated me.
And therefore, you must require more for yourself, and you must require more of him. I'm not so certain yet that he gonna get his act together.
He not.
But he gonna take care of those kids.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Mr. Matthews, since you've been found to be the father today, I am awarding Ms. Rainey the amount of $4,663.50, which is half of the money she has spent raising those children without your help. Judgment for the plaintiff, court is adjourned.